All right, so I think we should get into the formula of this, or what? Not the formula, the
structure.
The structure of this season.
Keep Brent on
track.
On track. And we were thinking about stuff, and like what I like about certain podcasts is when I learn something that I would never have thought about, and keep the subjects moving. We were thinking more of a school kind of setting to where you're kind of jumping subject to subject in an allotted time. That's all you got, and then we can move on from those subjects. But I want to learn something. If I'm listening to a podcast, I don't really care about learning about that person that's talking, unless I'm from their area and I know them. That's cool. That's cool.
I think you have a good point.
Yeah.
I think a certain amount of listeners that are friends of ours go, all right, Jake's going to be racist, Mike's going to be in the middle, and I'm going to be a loud asshole.
Jake is not going to be racist.
So I think we get a certain amount of our listeners.
all races.
So
he's been piled on him. I'm going to learn something, and we had some topics thrown at us, and I learned a bunch. I learned a bunch from studying up a little bit. I know we all didn't get time.
Well, time out real quick.
Yeah.
So the last section there was homeroom, where you meet up with your boys, your buddies, and you just talk about whatever happened to you over the weekend.
And the funny thing is, I thought about this when we were talking about the structure. My last name starts with L, and y'all's last names both start with M. There's a good chance we probably could have ended up in the same homeroom.
We're a grade ahead of you, bud.
Okay. Well,
we're more advanced.
All right. Well, that took that to shit.
That's
moving on.
So moving on, we have history. We're going to start with history.
All right.
And Columbus Day versus, I guess it doesn't have to be versus, but Columbus Day and Indigenous Day. When did Indigenous Day get introduced?
5 days ago.
I think this is the first year.
This is the first year.
No.
I've never heard it until literally 5 days ago. I'm not kidding.
University of California at Berkeley started that years ago.
Really?
Okay. Well,
that's a bunch of hippies out.
Well, that's
in
what
California.
that's what we're looking for.
I don't know how long ago, but I'm pretty sure they were the ones that started it, and I don't know why it needs to be competing.
All right. It was instituted in 1992, but I've never heard of it.
1992.
Never heard it until literally
Indigenous Peoples Day is what it's called, right?
I don't mind it.
I don't hate it.
I don't mind it, but it doesn't have just because you don't have to.
It doesn't make Columbus bad.
Yeah,
is what you're getting at. And honestly, there is confusion that Columbus gets in Spain gets all the blame for everything that's happened to indigenous people when it really wasn't. He never even touched the native North American soil.
He had a little bit, but the way it's portrayed now,
I act like he came up here and slaughtered some people.
No, it was more the English.
Yes. Yeah. The British.
Yeah.
British.
That's honestly the whole slaughter part.
I agree. They were doing a bit of slaughtering themselves. But back to Columbus, he never even got over here. He was in Haiti, Cuba, and all that other stuff. Correct. Dominican Republic.
There was his fourth one. I think he went to Cuba, but Columbus
he trekked across the Atlantic 4 times.
Well,
at least
that's another thing. I
didn't know that.
That's another thing. He was 41, traveling unexplored waters.
There was some
in a
tough
wooden
things.
boat.
Columbus had to land and fight off whoever was there.
Yeah.
Okay. He wasn't some soy boy beta. No. Yes.
The Nina, the Pinta, the Santa Maria.
Yep.
Anyway, he wasn't like a beta boy from 2020.
Right.
He's a tough sailor.
He went out to the unknown.
Beta boy.
Going to the unknown in the 1400s.
In a wooden boat.
Life is a little different.
In a wooden boat.
Someone came up causing you trouble.
Spit and straw.
You smacked him.
Yeah.
Right?
Plus, he had to get funded, so he went to different he went to Spain, where he went to France.
He went everywhere.
He went everywhere to try to get money to go find a route.
He was also greedy. He was also ambitious.
Yes.
But in the end, he was also Catholic, trying to spread Christianity throughout wherever.
He wasn't really this evil man that's coming to slaughter everyone. Although he had incentive because
he's trying to establish a new trade route with Asia.
It was King Ferdinand and Isabella that eventually gave him money, and they said that he could.
Those were the Spaniards.
He could he could reign over any land that he encountered. Which is excuse me, imagine if someone sent somebody over here hey, you can own whatever land you come across, but I'm living here. And he's like, hey man, I own this now. Get out the way. That's a little ridiculous.
Order of the Queen.
Yeah.
It's like, what Queen?
I think they probably didn't speak Spanish.
What is that you came in on?
Yeah. I can tell you this, there was no Indians trying to go east. All right?
No.
There was no boats.
They weren't trying to leave the campfire.
What'd you say? They had 1,000 years to figure out defense.
Yeah, listen, guys, people are coming. The problem is, there's so many misconceptions in that whole story.
Everything about big cats, not big boats.
Right. I think another day we should talk about Indians. We should talk about Native Americans.
Well,
and all that, and really discuss what went on.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as Columbus is concerned, he was just an explorer, man, who
he did get
paved the
in
way.
He was
for
more
the-
like Marco Polo than a murderer, is what you're saying.
Well, when he was allowed to keep the lands that he came across, he did keep one and he set up shop somewhere, and he did get in trouble for like mistreatment of his own people, because when he went back home, whether it was a political thing or what, who knows, but he did admit to some of it. So he was like a shitty person that was like beating, whipping his own men, killing them without trial.
And some of his boys went little bit nuts on the locals
Probably.
too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But most of
And he
his
got the shit for
writings
it.
and most of the writings of the priests that he brought, because he was bringing missionaries with him too,
of course.
were pretty like good reports of how he handled them.
He set up churches for them. They did a lot.
Yeah, of course.
Not
Most
on-
people will say, well, they didn't need it. They didn't want it. Well, they did. Before he got here, you're talking about Aztecs and Incas and just mass sacrifices and things
Yeah.
like that. Just general savagery going on. And
General
It's always-
hashtag general savagery.
It's always been going on. Like
it's always been going on.
But you think about how much credit like the Mayans and all them get, right, for their advances with
technology and stuff
yes,
like that.
right?
Yeah,
But you overlook the human sacrifice,
totally.
which it's like that doesn't happen. Well,
They had an elite ruling class like everyone else, and they just
Yeah.
crapped on everyone
Bring
else.
forth the virgins, and we'll put their blood to the fire, and
What he said.
basically, in their head rolls down the steps like
yeah.
Yeah.
apocalypse.
Just watch Apocalyptic.
I was going to say a movie. I couldn't think of the name. So
That's a great movie.
It's
So
good.
I'm-
That chase scene with the cat though is way too long. Holy crap!
You know, we actually talked about that last season. It's so long.
Apocalyptica.
And you know what? I can never say the word right. I always just like rush through it. I'm like apocalypse,
No one knows what you're talking about because I don't think you said it yet.
apocalypse.
Apocalypto.
Apocalypto.
There it is.
Is that what it is? Apocalypto.
Apocalypto.
So
Good movie.
I've been adding to co
Yeah.
apocalyptico.
Yeah. That sounds like a tasty beverage.
Metalopolis.
I think I started.
Metalocalypse.
Remember that band?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I love that cartoon.
I think I started reading it and just like
Dr.
gave up
Roxo.
halfway through. Yeah, it's apocalyptico.
Apocalyptico.
So yeah, that's it. I mean,
I'm just curious why, as Americans, we care so much about us taking over the Indians' land when for thousands of years the world was all about just land
Taking
takeover.
Yeah.
Like we will watch Netflix documentaries on Vikings and love it.
Mongols.
Yes, Mongols. The Native Americans were taking over each other's tribes. Why
Bro,
do we
they
care
couldn't
so
stand
much?
each other. If you cross like a certain, it's like me crossing over to North Carolina and then be like,
I honestly
exactly
think
what it was.
the number of people on the planet had
Right.
something to do with it.
sure.
How many people are in the world right now? 7 billion?
300.
7 billion?
Wait, what?
9
300
billion?
million in
This
US.
wasn't-
Yeah,
this wasn't in the
7
notes?
billion. 7 billion.
All right.
Let's go with that.
I mean, what was in 1492? What was the population of the planet?
I don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Who
it's
knows?
easier to go
Could have been a lot. Bro.
show up on the shores of Maryland and go, "This is fucking mine," because I don't see anybody.
Sure.
You couldn't do that today.
Well, I mean, that happened a lot with the Native Americans. Was they did make deals. They did trade stuff. They didn't keep record of all that though.
Hell no.
They took a bunch of furs, a boat full of like furs and stuff.
Yeah.
And they would go off, but then they had kids, and the kids would grow up and be like, "Hey, I'm going on this land. Why are these white people here?" And the white people are like, "Hey, why are these little Indians here?" And they're like, "Well, the Indians are like, I'm gonna kill you now."
The biggest problem was that Europeans brought over disease.
Sure.
Smallpox.
Not
right?
on purpose.
In the blankets.
No.
That's a small thing. It did happen. But in general, before that, like Christopher
Everyone
Columbus,
thinks it was on purpose. Or
they
something.
came over with
Well, no, of
things that
course
were
not.
already
Yeah.
adapted to,
Yeah.
and the Indians couldn't take it. Right?
No.
The-
They could have gave him something to eat, literally, and it could have like just
Some, like,
started there. Yeah.
Some like
it could have went
cured
both.
ham
It
or
could have went
something?
both ways. But the point that needs to be, I guess, expressed is that the sense of adventure and the sense of enlightenment and things like that were not coming from.
No.
They came from Europe. They came by way of Christopher Columbus. He's the one that set the stage for the New World. The greatest thing the world has ever seen is America. I
Yep.
don't care what anyone says.
He connected the old world to the new.
Absolutely.
That's why he is so important. That's why we celebrate him. We're not saying he was perfect.
We're not saying he found the continent.
No.
I mean, there's people living here.
Yes.
Clearly, they already knew about it.
Right,
But they weren't doing anything.
They weren't doing
So
anything.
did he really think he was in India?
He did.
Okay.
He did. No. He thought he was in Asia.
I mean-
Because I know.
Yeah.
Oh Jesus, titty, fucking Christ! Spilled some beer.
More than spilled it.
Yeah. It's almost like
You're wet, bud.
yeah.
Sorry, Mike.
It's almost like Jesus knew you were going to say that. Well, before you say that, let me spill your beer.
All right. Well,
Well,
anyway,
to
that
be
was.
fair, he did know.
I'm glad I put a top on that.
So yeah, so that's what we learned. I mean, I definitely learned some new stuff from that, and we.
So, you're back to your topic, Indigenous Day.
Yeah.
I'm down with that, but
Sure.
why does it have to compete with
Dude,
Columbus
I
Day?
love
Could
Native
it just be
Americans.
both?
I love the
Could it
story.
just be both? Like,
no,
don't give me
no,
shit
no.
for saying
A new
Christopher
day.
Columbus.
New day.
Different day.
A new day.
Different
And
day, bro.
Columbus
Why can't
Day
it
is
just be
big
both?
for Catholics and Italians, man. They're real big on it.
So hold up, bro.
Was Columbus Italian?
Hey,
Absolutely.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know his name.
as much as I love Native Americans, as much balls they had to fight, and
Well, I know you've immersed yourself in their culture before.
dude, it's so awesome, and I love them. And to say for people to say it was a slaughter is such a disservice to them. For like the amazing fight. I mean, no one wanted to mess with them. The Comanches, once they got horses, no one wanted to mess with them until
Right.
we got the repeater. I mean, then it was game over. But as soon as we could fire as fast as they could shoot arrows, it was over. We're like, hey, yeah, I'm gonna shoot you this now.
Hey, stop it.
These
Look,
bullets are coming.
I'm
hot.
gonna hit you with some facts on some Indians and the amounts of deaths, but I'm not gonna do it right now.
I know we can do that. I mean, like we said, a lot of time. We got to move on. We can come back to it. So up next, science and tech. Science and tech. We're gonna talk about CRISPR.
So, okay, explain that CRISPR is an acronym.
Oh,
Or
I didn't.
not an
It
acronym.
is.
It's a
It is.
acronym, not an
Just a
acronym.
regular old acronym.
There it is. Thank you.
Wes, what does it mean?
Yeah. What is CRISPR, bro? 'Cause
Continuous,
I didn't
whatever,
read this
whatever.
one.
To me, CRISPR is like something you should be so worried about, especially that China's leading the way. CRISPR is
China.
the ability. It's putting like
It's a protein.
it's a protein in your body
Mhm.
that you can edit your DNA.
The protein goes through and it cuts out bad genomes.
Correct,
in
correct.
So
your
you could
DNA.
like.
Doesn't go in your body now. For
No,
humans.
No. Well, for instance, China is literally testing CRISPR babies, where they will go in and genetically
muscular
alter
dystrophy and
babies.
Oh,
Yeah.
so they could see everything that's like gonna be wrong with the baby.
They can go in and actually edit the
bad
DNA.
genes.
They can take
Yeah.
away, if there's
like down to eye color.
certain sections.
correct. Yes.
Well, yeah.
I mean that is the future
Get
of
the
it.
fuck out
it's
of
not
here,
for
man.
that necessarily.
Isn't that part of the fun of having a kid?
Well,
I mean that's not really the fun of
Roll
it.
the dice,
I don't think that's the main.
That's not the
I don't.
fun.
That's not the main goal. I think the goal is to.
That's full
Can't-
God mode. What the fuck?
It is. It's scary.
That's. I'm gonna go and say it. It's terrible.
I think it's good in a way, but like there's always good and bad, right? There's certain side effects that are going to happen when you start messing with DNA. I mean,
it's
they've been doing
RNA, right? Not DNA.
No, it's DNA.
Yeah.
So
the DNA strand.
So do you
Yeah.
remember? It was big when we were in high school. Remember when Yao Ming, like he was like the son of like China's breeding project of like finding
Cloning
the tallest.
sheep and all
Yeah,
that.
I mean whatever they were doing, they were finding like the tallest Chinese women and men, and that's how Yao Ming was actually born. I believe.
Yeah.
Fuck, I didn't know
Yes.
that.
Yes.
He couldn't hang
could
with
you-
Shaq.
Could you
Couldn't
imagine?
hang with
Like,
anything.
Bro, they CRISPR'd him to death.
Hold on. What does CRISPR mean, by the way? I know you're.
Yeah. I need to know what that acronym means.
CRISPR is actually it's actually CRISPR, but they just take away
I
the
think it's
E.
because the protein burns away.
Yeah.
No, it
Yeah.
means something.
I'm sure it
CRS.
absolutely means something.
You put your veggies in it in the
I didn't
bottom of
look
the
it up.
fridge.
So here's my problems with it.
Clustered, regular, interspace, short, palindromic repeats.
Okay.
Ridiculous.
Damn, we got.
That's what you
They
want
couldn't
to
find an
know.
E and make
Can
it
we
like
just call it
real
CRISPR?
CRISPR.
Yeah, that's what we call CRISPR.
Bro.
But my question is, you've got China who made the Yao Mings of the world. What else could they make if they could actually go in and edit someone's DNA?
Do you think they're making super soldiers already?
They're probably
like
making-
teenagers.
They're probably making little tiny Ant-Mans that can go and like sneak in little places.
Little Paul Rudds running around.
Yeah, it's like, well, once you go down, you're not coming back.
Yeah, I'm gonna go and say
You gotta
this,
make
like,
a tiny little city for them.
I can tell you this: whatever they're doing, we're doing it better.
Oh Jesus Christ! So
There we are. I guarantee.
no,
we're
you're
already
probably
doing that.
right. But my thing is, if like
Crispier.
CRISPR.
CRISPR,
With
yes.
an E. With an E.
yeah, Putin's gonna be like, oh no, crispiest, crispiest, comrade, crispiest.
They're just crisp. They don't have the R.
So if you can go in and tell me like
Hard R.
like my kid, they hold a hard R on the CRISPR. If you could go in and like
CRISPR.
CRISPR.
You want to see the devil?
If you could tell me my kid was gonna have like MS or even Down syndrome, and they could fix it, I think that's fine.
Okay, so
But if you want to go in like it's a goddamn car dealership and be like, let's go ahead and get some options.
Yes.
That's bullshit. You should not be allowed to do that.
so if you can edit your body and edit your insides, edit everything, what would you edit about you?
Dude,
Here we go.
are we gonna go there?
Bane, you better start thinking. It's coming your way. Good.
My metabolism.
Sure, I can fix that.
You know what was
You know what? We can all fix
We can
it.
all
The
fix
treadmill.
that. What the
I don't need no CRISPR for that.
That's what I'm saying. Everything, to an extent, is fixable. What do you want me? What were were you setting me up? You're like, oh, I want a big old dick. No. Like,
What'd you say before that? Down
just
syndrome?
wanted
Or
to
what was
know.
the other one?
I'm gonna
MS.
go around the room.
Down syndrome is different. Like,
I know they're completely different.
have you not seen Peanut Butter Falcon yet?
What? That's a
Have you
movie,
seen that?
bro.
With Shia
Isn't that
LaBeouf?
Shia LaBeouf?
Yeah, it's
Dude,
good.
Shy is my boy.
All right,
So
I'll
that's
tell
a
you this.
movie.
The storyline is so weak and
Just
so shallow.
do
But
it.
there's a dude with Down syndrome, and he's funny, man. He's awesome.
That's fine.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
fine.
You know that kid like really helped him. Sorry, he was Shia was on that little down path of like going crazy.
Yeah, he
drinking
was
a lot.
having a spell.
You know what
there.
it was? It was freaking that hot chick from Transformers.
Megan
Megan
Fox.
Fox?
They were like hooking up. Like,
I thought she was with Brian Austin Green for like
well,
a decade.
I mean, that didn't stop her from MGK. So
Oh, MGK got up in it?
Yes.
he's with it now, bro.
Ill.
He's writing songs, putting her in
I
a
bet
music
you
video.
John Maynard's been in it. He's been in everything.
But anyways, her and Shia were on we're in Transformers, obviously, and they were like getting real tight. And then she just left him, obviously, because she probably went back to her husband. Let's be real.
Yeah.
And then he was just when you go through a big breakup, you kind of go like through these crazy changes just to be like, fuck it, I'm doing this. I remember one time Amanda broke up with me.
I was waiting for you to say that.
Yes.
Me and Amanda broke up a long time ago. I think I bleached like just the back of my head or something like that. Something crazy. I was like, I'm doing anything.
Dude, the last
It
year
worked.
turned me into a piece of shit.
Oh, God. Well, let's not get into that.
No, we're going to get into it.
We're so far off the thing here, but
Yeah, back. I was talking about
Bring it
Shia.
on back to school
And
here.
what I was getting back is that kid, like the beauty in that
I don't know
kid.
his name, but he was awesome.
Yes, the beauty in that kid like really helped him. They're still friends. They still talk. He loves that kid. And that's all I was getting at, basically. But anyways.
I like your
where the
question.
F were we?
Your question was, what would you change about yourself?
Yeah, yes.
I wanted to talk about CRISPR. I want to do that. But CRISPR.
I know.
So they're using, the only way to do this is to use fetuses and embryos and things like that. So wherever you stand on wherever human life becomes a thing is whether or not you think it's okay.
And basically, we could have multiple ones of us, right?
So
Could we
Jake,
have
real
back-
quick, CRISPR is derived RNA, but it affects your DNA. So
Yeah, that's what it was.
I know
remember
what
reading
DNA stands for. What does RNA stand for?
Ribonucleic.
So it's without the
I don't know, I just
deoxy?
made it.
But
So it's ribonucleic acid, but
Yeah.
not the deoxyribonucleic acid?
so hold on.
You got
If
it.
they get
All right.
together with
Nerd.
Elon, hold on. If they get together with Elon, right? So you have a backup
Here we
body.
go. Why does everything got to go through that asshole?
Hold on,
He's
because you
got
get
a
a
brain
backup
patch.
body, and you get your brain put in that other body. That'd be.
But what's wrong with just regular old living?
Exactly. Thank you.
You mean regular old dying?
Well,
That's
if
the
you
part I'm
believe in
worried
the
about.
afterlife, it's not that big a deal.
Oh
So now
man.
see, there's your God complex.
Well, hold on. I got.
Well, that's the whole conversation we're having.
Yeah.
CRISPR is, for me,
no,
it's wrong.
no.
Because I believe embryo.
you're not living forever off of CRISPR.
No.
But I'm saying it can make someone's life better. Not ours. We shouldn't be talking about it.
The reason I don't like CRISPR is because they're using what I would refer to as humans as test beds.
See, and I'm going to piggyback on that because you and I don't agree on that at all. But I still think it should be left alone. Honestly.
When a male and female fertilize or whatever,
Yeah,
have sex,
That's your
right
belief,
then
you're
and
allowed to
there.
have it.
No, it's not belief. This is scientific.
Okay, well,
right then and there.
I disagree, but that's
Right
fine.
then and there is a sex, and the full set of DNA is established.
Okay.
The genes are there.
Okay.
It's now a living thing.
Yeah.
All the information's there to grow into a child. So,
Still got to grow. So,
I mean, plants count when they're little seeds.
I saw.
yeah,
Felix,
you know what? And winter kills that.
Felix
so don't worry
had
about it.
Felix had a
So-
heart that looked like a freaking star in this night sky, and he was so dang small, and that thing
Yeah,
looked like
it looks like a little universe in
it
there,
looked
bro.
like a little tiny star
If
shimmering.
you do nothing, a child appears.
I
Right.
understand that. It appears. Keyword.
A child grows into a
it's
child.
there. Stop it. Let's not get into that. Come
No,
on.
I literally just said
Because
I don't agree with Jacob, but I agree with Jacob.
There's a lot
on
of-
the CRISPR thing.
there's a lot of
I don't
late
think it should be a
term-
thing at all. I don't like it.
Right.
I think the fear with CRISPR is that, you can fix a lot of good,
Other
but
people
you
will
can
abuse
do a lot of bad with
Yes.
it too.
Yeah.
People can abuse it.
I'm waiting for Lex Luthor to show
If
up.
someone
and
could
just buy
abuse it, I mean, which it's everything.
Listen, if you could find ways to fix chronic illnesses,
Yes.
heart disease, well, not
Yes.
heart disease, because I feel like you bring that on yourself.
Well, I mean,
mostly.
think about somebody who has dementia.
I honestly think that's fixable. You're right.
Cancer is the big one.
You could delay
if
it
you
longer.
could fix
Yeah, exactly.
that, but like, there's a moral dilemma. Do you use embryos that would become humans as test beds to fix people that are already human, or do you let them become human and live their, it's such a moral dilemma.
Yeah.
And I mean,
It is.
I know where I stand on it, but
Mhm.
also if somebody I love was dying and it took some embryo I didn't know about in China to come up with a cure, I would take it, probably.
See,
Right?
Now I think
Yeah.
you've created a double negative.
I mean, I just told you what I
Yeah,
would do.
That's
I know what
morally.
you're saying to save someone you love,
Exactly.
but somebody in China loved that embryo.
Well, no, they don't because they're growing them in labs with people
Yeah.
they don't even know.
Oh,
But-
I didn't know
but-
they were growing embryos in labs.
They're
I
not
didn't read the
growing them,
article.
but they're it's in vitro.
We can get
know? You're putting egg in a.
This is the start of something crazy. It could be very.
But this has been going on for years.
No, I know. It's
Years
been on
and years
like
and
literally decades, but it's getting like I read up that apparently like the articles are like pretty much tripling, like almost like monthly.
Well, what do you think GMO is? I mean, we've been doing this with seeds and plants
and
and
food.
animals.
Yeah.
You put it in your
animals
body already.
Ever.
Yeah.
What's the next step? Obviously, human.
So what would you change about yourself?
I would like to be a little bit taller.
I wouldn't hate that.
That's exactly what I would go for.
Are we all under 6
Well,
foot here besides
I like
Wes?
where I'm at, but for sports,
Nobody's worried
for
about you,
sports, I
Jolly
need to be
Green.
taller.
Vane, what would you change about yourself? And then Wes, I'm coming to you next, bro.
Maybe like be able to be smarter or more focused. Control that,
Focus.
Focus is a good one.
Are we-
if
I
we could
didn't know- I
focus
thought we were
all
talking
of our
about
Could they
Great
cut
brain
it down
power-
straight? Could they get rid of ADD like that?
Oh yeah, that's one of them.
Really?
Well, I was thinking about physical traits, but
So was I.
but that's a good one.
That's a great one.
mental-
if you want to
Mental's a
talk
good
about
one.
emotion
I can't
and mental
focus.
and
I mean, that's why we're
I'm
all over
actually
the place.
okay with being a fat fuck, but if I could get
Yeah,
my brain
emotional
fixed-
I'm
control.
gonna stretch you out a little bit.
Yeah, give me 3 inches of height and a better brain.
Coming right up, Chris.
Hey, whoa. What about you, Wes?
You've been crisped.
Dude,
Remember that? What was that? Mortal Kombat? Crispy.
Crispy.
I thought it was toasty.
All right, Wes.
Ah, it's toasty.
It is toasty.
I agree with Brent. Metabolism. There's nothing
You can
worse.
do something.
sad
Listen,
or-
hold on. Listen to me.
Okay.
Listen to me.
Your
Metabolism.
thyroid.
No,
Metabolism.
48
we
years old.
all know people who can eat and do whatever they want and don't gain any weight.
Heard.
Not past 30.
Yes.
Bullshit.
So I think we all know
they
in
are
here. This is a name drop, but Jay Taylor. Don't know if you guys know Jay Taylor.
Oh,
or
I
not.
haven't seen Jay
God,
Taylor in
did you just put that back? Dude, that was in a
Yes.
back file folder.
15
Listen.
years. Jay
That thing was
Taylor.
Listen.
dusty.
This dude eats way more than I do. Does
You know him
whatever he
still?
wants. Yes, our daughters are friends. We're friends with him. Our wives are friends.
I like Jay.
No,
He's
everybody liked
Dude,
Jay Taylor.
he-
I just haven't seen him in 15
Yeah,
years.
that's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
that was in the back. Bro.
He's in great shape, and I'm like,
I'd rather
dude,
golf
he
with Jay
doesn't
Taylor
work
than him.
out. He doesn't work out. Does nothing.
Are you sure?
Positive? 100% positive.
Well, dude, he was tall and gangly in high school.
You know what he says? He's got a bench press in his garage,
Yeah.
and he makes sure he can bench his body weight to pull himself out of a hole if he has to.
Good for Jay Taylor.
Oh my!
That's it.
God, that's
a
hilarious.
pull-up thing.
I hope he listens because that's a blast from the past.
But metabolism,
I'd probably strictly do height.
Yeah.
it's
That's probably
overrated.
it.
Trust me.
I wouldn't be. I probably wouldn't be as tall as you. I'd probably just put 4 inches up there.
Well, yeah. If you were taller, your freakishly long dong would make
Nah.
sense.
Yeah, it's a normal.
Prove
Thing.
it.
It just looks bigger on me because I'm smaller.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It
Why
doesn't
do you
make
not-
sense.
Anyways, time's up. Geography. Does this count? Great Wall of China. Do you know what? Do you know what what would be the main reason for building the Wall of China?
To keep the Mongols out.
That is the correct answer.
Yeah.
But
Keep people in.
the
Here we go.
oh, conspiracy. So the guard towers. Obviously, the land goes up and down, crazy for long distances.
You can see it from space.
It was mainly to keep the cavalry of the Mongols out and get them on foot because of how the terrain was. Because honestly, on the other side of the wall, straight drop.
Oh shit!
And then
really?
you're still like 100 miles from Beijing.
Okay.
It also used to be in sections. This is all shit I learned. I'm not even acting smart. This is literally what I read today.
Well, I mean, learning.
Yeah, that's
is
what we're
being
doing.
Smart.
You're learning,
what we're
here,
doing here.
son.
It was built in like sections and stuff, and it was a lot shorter. It used to be until there was a rebellion inside Beijing, took over, there was a general of China that was at one of the strongholds that was stopping the Manchus.
Manchu.
Yeah,
Fu Manchus.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
So they were trying to get in. He's stopping them. You know,
Old Dennis Eckersley.
this lasted like 60 to 100 years, something like that. To where they could.
Why were they trying to get in so hard?
That's what I, like they're literally
Just stay where you're at.
Like
Shut up.
Some kid's born, right? Some kid's born whole life trying to get past this wall. That's his whole life.
Hey, other people's life was
We're
building
the
that
wall. Yeah.
forever.
Think about that. Or pyramids. We're not going
Or
to
cathedrals
We're talking about
or
those
whatever.
later.
Yeah,
Pyramids,
get that out of
cathedrals.
here.
Yeah. So basically what happens is the rebellion, who's different from the Manchus and different from China, which is the
Ming.
Was it Tao, Ming?
Yeah,
It was a Qin.
Ming.
I mean, it was a
It was
Qin
Ming.
dynasty.
It was
Ming
Ming.
dynasty.
It was
They had a
Ming.
good
Death to
1,000 years.
Ming.
Right. So they take over Beijing, and they eventually find one of the generals on the stronghold. They find one of his, it was his concubine that he really liked. One of his favorites. Bro.
Silly.
One of his favorites.
Don't you touch her. It's my favorite concubine.
They killed his whole family. They took her
His
hostage.
wife was like clapping in the back.
He made a deal with the Manchus to let them in to help take care of the rebellion. Manchus took over China in 10 years. They spent 60 to 100 outside of this wall. So that's how good a wall works.
Ooh. Oh, shit. What do you think about that, Brent?
Well,
Yeah, that's right.
Well, when the country below us poses no threat. I'm sorry, there's not a bunch of
hello.
Manchus
They
hanging
do.
out.
We're talking about, okay.
It's not like a military threat.
Nah.
It's more like a,
What is
culture,
it then?
a cultural threat.
Oh, for fuck's sake,
Nah,
Jacob!
not a cultural.
A cultural threat. We're all a mixed mash, full of
No.
bowl full of bullshit.
No, we're not.
Yes, we are.
We have a functioning democracy.
Okay. Oh,
They barely do.
our functioning democracy is hanging on by a cunt hair.
Are we still talking about the Chinese?
I
No,
wonder
not
why.
anymore.
No, the Mongols.
He's the one that said, "What do you think about?"
I
that,
wonder why they do. Yeah, well, he said walls work, and I mean, there's
Brett?
very
Walls
good
work.
proof.
Yes,
No much talking
Very
about.
good proof that wall
but it's not
worked.
like there's a bunch of
Well,
guys on horseback with fucking
You know what?
spears
You know what?
and samurai swords.
you know what
down
discredited?
in Mexico.
You know what discredited Camel?
Who?
In the vice president debate was when she brought up that
Did you say
Trump
camel?
Camel.
Kamala,
Oh
the
yeah,
Nigerian
Kamala.
giant.
Kamala.
He was my
Joke.
one of my favorite wrestlers of all time.
bad joke.
Rest in peace, Kamala.
When she brings up these old things where she was like, he calls Mexicans rapists. That's been he was talking about MS-13, talking about gangs. Whether
But
he should have said it,
he
whether he
did
should have said it,
generalize the
She's
shit
pandering
out of
to
it,
a
bro.
very low.
she
She's pandering
pandered
to a
so
low
hard.
IQ
It was
voter base.
brutal.
We can
It was
also talk about the hundreds of thousands
Pence slaughtered her.
of men that Kamala Harris has kept in prison to work for free.
Yeah,
So-
we're jumping. We'll get back. We'll get back to that.
I saw
one.
the picture of her with all the people
Yeah, bro.
Oh yeah. So that general's name Wu Sang guy.
Whoop.
Wu Sang guy. I know.
Some young guy.
Finishing up this section
Some
here.
young guy.
So check it out.
Ever heard that one?
Wu is actually synonymous with betrayal, like Benedict Arnold here.
Oh.
Wu over there because of him letting them in.
Does
Maybe
anyone
we'll
know
add
what
Benedict
Benedict?
Arnold to
Some
history next week.
concubine. Just some slut.
somehow-
Slut.
That's how most of the world went down.
Dude, it's
Dude,
just
hey,
weak
What did Bill
men.
Clinton have to say about
Weak
that?
men.
Dude, I'm telling
They're
you.
not weak, but you know what I'm saying, towards a
Weak
woman.
men.
Dude, women could. That's what I'm saying. Women can rule
They
the
already
world,
do.
bro.
They
Easily.
already do.
Mm.
They already do.
Let's not get crazy here.
Play well, bud.
They should.
The cause
Does
and
anyone know
solution
what,
to all our
they-
problems?
they
Quick,
should.
China.
What did Benedict Arnold?
Christ.
What was his plot to give up what base?
Oh, I don't know.
McHenry?
I gotta look into that.
West Point.
West
Damn it.
Point.
That was West Point.
Oh, okay. Very cool. Hey guys, thanks so much for listening, man. We really appreciate it. Go to our YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, whatever. Like, subscribe. Let us know what you thought about some of the comments, and we'll see you tomorrow.